Before we dive into today's gripping story, we want to take a moment to appreciate you, our amazing subscribers, new viewers, and the incredible community that makes Moonlight Tales by Samzy so special. Your likes, shares, and thoughtful comments mean the world to us, and we're beyond grateful for your support. If this is your first time here, welcome. You're in for a ride filled with drama, suspense, and unexpected twists. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss out on our latest stories. And of course, drop a comment below. We love hearing from you, and your support keeps us going. Now, sit back, relax, and let's dive right back into the story, because things are about to get even more intense. Caro's heart jumped. She broke down in tears and begged the seer to help her. But the old woman shook her head. "The one who sent you," she said, "is the true devil. But you helped her. You took money to do evil. Go and make it right, or your suffering will continue." From that day, Caro's heart changed. She realized she had been used like a puppet. Angela, who was living comfortably, had escaped punishment, while she, Caro, was the one paying for the sin. Caro became angry, very angry. She called Angela from another number, and when Angela answered, she didn't sound sorry at all. "I'm sick," Angela lied. "I have liver failure. I can't talk long. And the money? It's just peanut. Don't ever call me again." When Caro heard the word peanut, her blood boiled. "Peanut," she shouted. "You mean my suffering is worth peanut to you? You used me and now you want to throw me away like trash?" Angela hung up the phone. That was the last straw. Caro decided that if Angela wasn't going to pay her or even show remorse, she would go straight to Daisy and confess everything. She still had the voice notes, the bank transfers, and all the messages Angela had sent. She wrote a message to Daisy, "Angela owes me. I'm not staying quiet anymore. Meet me tomorrow. I have everything you need to know what she did to you." But Caro never made it to that meeting. It was a cold and rainy evening. The sky was dark, and the streets were quiet. Caro sat alone on the edge of her bed, staring at her phone. Her heart was beating fast. She knew she was in danger, but she had made up her mind she couldn't keep quiet any longer. She picked up her phone and typed a message to Daisy. Her fingers shook as she pressed the buttons. "Angela owes me. I'm not staying quiet anymore. Meet me tomorrow. I have everything you need to know what she did to you." Caro hit send, then quickly grabbed her small brown bag. Inside the bag were some papers, a tiny phone recorder, and her old phone with messages and voice notes between her and Auntie Angela. She had saved them all. Caro was tired of being silent while her own life kept falling apart. She walked to the front door of her small apartment and locked it. Then she sat on the couch and waited. She didn't know who might come. But something inside her told her that Angela wouldn't let her speak freely. Suddenly, there was a knock on the door. Knock. 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 Caro froze. She didn't invite anyone. It was late. The rain had just started pouring hard. She looked through the curtain but couldn't see clearly. Then another knock came, louder this time. Her heart raced. "Who's there?" she asked. Silence. She stepped back slowly, her eyes wide with fear. She tried to grab her phone, but it slipped from her hand and hit the floor. The screen cracked. She bent down to pick it up, and that was when the door burst open. Two tall men in black jackets rushed in. One of them covered her mouth quickly so she couldn't scream. The other grabbed her arms and tied them behind her back. Caro tried to kick and shake free, but she wasn't strong enough. "You talk too much," one of them said coldly. Tears rolled down her face as they dragged her out of the house. She looked around, hoping someone would see her, but the street was empty. Everyone was inside because of the rain. The men pushed her into a black car parked at the end of the road. The doors slammed shut. One of the men pulled out her phone from her bag. He checked it and shook his head. "She already sent the message," he said. The other man looked angry. "Too late now. We take her and the phone." The car drove off into the night. Back in her apartment, the door was still open. Rain blew in, wetting the floor. Her cracked phone lay under the couch. But the message she had sent had already reached Daisy. That night, Daisy was sitting beside Joel, resting her head on his chest. They were talking about her makeup class when her phone buzzed. She picked it up and read Caro's message. "Angela owes me. I'm not staying quiet anymore. Meet me tomorrow." Daisy sat up straight. "Joel, look." Joel took the phone and read the message too. His face turned serious. "Why would Caro send this now?" Daisy bit her lip. "Because something's wrong. I feel it." They both tried calling Caro, but her phone didn't ring. It went straight to voicemail. Joel tried again and again. Still nothing. "She's gone," Daisy whispered. "Something's happened." Joel stood up and grabbed his car keys. "We need to go to the police." The next morning, Caro's neighbors found her front door wide open. Her furniture was in a mess, the cushions on the floor, the rug soaked from the rain. Her neighbors told the police that they hadn't seen her since the night before. At the station, Daisy and Joel gave the message to the officers. A missing persons case was opened right away. The police promised to look into it and began searching for Caro. Daisy couldn't sleep that night. She knew deep inside that this wasn't just a simple case of someone going missing. No, someone had taken Caro. And whoever did it wanted to stop her from telling the truth. She held Joel's hand tightly. "I just hope we're not too late." Joel nodded. "We'll find her. And we'll make them pay." Outside, the rain had stopped. But the storm had only just begun. It was a calm afternoon. Uncle Tom and Naomi were sitting outside their small house, playing a game of Ludo. The air was quiet except for the clatter of dice and Naomi's soft laughter. Auntie Angela was inside, sweeping and mumbling to herself. She had been restless since their visit to Daisy. She was scared that Daisy might talk. But deep down, she still believed nothing would come out of it. After all, Daisy had always been the quiet, weak one, easy to silence. Suddenly, a policeman pulled up in front of their compound. The engine stopped. 4 officers stepped down, their faces serious. Naomi's smile faded. Uncle Tom stood up slowly, confused. "What's going on?" he asked nervously. The officers walked past him and knocked on the door. Auntie Angela opened it with a frown. "Yes? Can I help you?" "Mrs. Angela," one of the officers said firmly, "you are under arrest for conspiracy, child abuse, and involvement in a kidnapping case." Angela's eyes widened. "What? Me? What kind of joke is this?" One officer showed her a warrant. "This is no joke, madam. Please come with us." Naomi ran to her mother. "Mummy, what are they saying? What's going on?" Angela looked around, her voice shaking. I don't know what they're talking about." The officers stepped into the house and began searching. Angela tried to stop them, but it was no use. Uncle Tom, still confused, kept asking, "Is this about Daisy? I don't understand. What happened?" An officer found Caro's phone hidden in a shoebox inside the wardrobe. He held it up. "Found it, sir," he said. Angela froze. The officer turned to her. "You thought you could hide the evidence?" Angela opened her mouth, but no words came out. Her legs became weak. She sat down slowly on the floor. Naomi grabbed her hand. "Mommy, please tell them you didn't do anything." Angela didn't answer. Her face was pale. Her heart beat fast. The officers asked Uncle Tom to come to the station too, to give his statement. He nodded quietly, still shocked. At the police station, Angela sat in a small room with two officers. She was shaking. They placed Caro's phone on the table in front of her. "We have voice messages, text chats, and bank transfers from you to Caro," one officer said. "All proof that you paid her to torment Daisy." Angela kept quiet. Her eyes stared at the phone. "Where is Caro?" the officer asked. Angela didn't answer. Then another officer played a message Caro had sent to Daisy just before she disappeared. The voice echoed in the room, "Angela owes me. I'm not staying quiet anymore. Meet me tomorrow. I have everything you need to know what she did to you." Angela broke down. Tears rolled down her cheeks. She held her head. "Fine," she shouted. "Yes! I did it! I paid Caro. I asked her to scare Daisy, to make her feel useless, to keep her weak. I wanted her to leave quietly so we could be free of her." The room fell silent. "I didn't think she'd tell anyone," Angela sobbed. "And I didn't mean for things to go that far. I only wanted her to stay out of our lives. But then Caro asked for more money, and I didn't have it. She started threatening me." The officer leaned forward. "And the kidnapping?" Angela closed her eyes tightly. "I just wanted her to stop. I thought if she disappeared, the problem would disappear too." "Where is she being held?" the officer asked. Angela nodded slowly and gave them the location. A team was sent out immediately. Outside the room, Daisy and Joel sat silently. They had listened to everything. Joel held Daisy's hand. Her eyes were wet, but her face was strong. "It's all true," she whispered. "Every bit of it." Joel nodded. "And now everyone knows." The door opened. Angela was brought out in handcuffs. She saw Daisy and stopped. Her mouth opened to speak, but Daisy stepped forward and looked her straight in the eye. "You thought you destroyed me," Daisy said calmly. "But you only pushed me toward my victory." Angela began to cry. "I hope prison teaches you everything you refused to learn as a human being," Daisy added. "Have a nice stay." Angela was led away. Uncle Tom stood quietly in the corner. He looked broken. Daisy walked up to him, held his hand and whispered, "You could have stopped her. But you didn't." "I'm sorry," Uncle Tom said with tears in his eyes. "I forgive you," Daisy replied. "But now, you must do better with Naomi. She needs you." Uncle Tom nodded. For the first time in years, he felt true shame and a strange sense of relief that the truth was finally out. The sun was shining softly through the windows of their home, casting a warm glow on the walls. Birds chirped outside like they were singing just for her. Daisy sat by the window, her hands wrapped around a warm cup of tea, smiling to herself. For the first time in a long time, there were no tears in her eyes, no pain in her heart, and no fear in her soul. She looked outside and saw flowers blooming in the garden. The colors were so bright, so alive. Just like her heart. Every morning now felt like a gift. She could see the world, its beauty, its colors, and most of all, she could see Joel's face when he smiled at her. That alone made everything worth it. Joel walked into the room, holding a book in one hand and a small tray in the other. He placed it on her lap gently and kissed her forehead. "You forgot your favorite," he whispered, pointing at the cinnamon bun on the tray. Daisy giggled. "I didn't forget. I was just waiting for my favorite person to bring it," she replied. Joel sat beside her, pulling her close. They didn't need to talk much anymore. The silence between them was comfortable, peaceful like the waves of the ocean brushing against the shore. After everything they had been through, all the fights, the tears, the surgeries, the truths, and the lies, they were still standing. Stronger than ever. Daisy leaned on his shoulder and closed her eyes for a moment. Her thoughts drifted, but instead of pain, she now felt peace. Auntie Angela had finally been taken away for her crimes. Justice had spoken, and Daisy no longer had to carry that heavy weight of silence and fear. Caro had been found, and though she also faced consequences, Daisy hoped she would change and find peace someday too. Uncle Tom had written her a long letter. He didn't make excuses, he simply said he was sorry. Deeply sorry. Daisy didn't know if she could ever truly trust him again, but she forgave him. Because holding anger in her heart only made her feel small, and she was done feeling small. Naomi had been quiet since her mother's arrest. No fake apologies. No phone calls. Daisy didn't care. She no longer needed anyone's approval. She had finally learned to love herself. Now, she was planning her future. Her makeup classes were going well. Her teacher said she was very talented and creative. "You have a gift," the woman had said. "And a story the world needs to hear." Daisy wanted to open her own beauty studio one day, a place where girls like her could feel special, seen, and strong. Joel supported every dream she shared. He even built her a small makeup room beside their bedroom, complete with big mirrors and bright lights. It was her little paradise. As she sat there with him by her side, she thought about how far she had come. From being a blind, abandoned girl treated like a burden, to a woman with vision, voice, and victory. She had cried so many nights in silence, prayed for a way out, and even wished for her life to end. But God had kept her, and now she understood why. Because her story was not one of pity, it was one of power. Suddenly, a soft knock came at the door. It was a delivery man with a letter. Daisy opened it slowly. Inside was an invitation and award ceremony. She had been nominated for a Courageous Heart Award by a women's empowerment group. They had heard her story and wanted to honor her strength. Tears welled in her eyes, but this time they weren't from sadness. They were tears of pride. Joel read the letter and hugged her tight. "You deserve this and more," he whispered. "I'm so proud of you." Later that evening, Daisy stood on their balcony, watching the stars. She breathed in deeply. The night air was cool and clean, and the sky was full of light. "Thank you," she whispered to God, to the stars, to her younger self who never gave up. She smiled gently. She was no longer the girl people felt sorry for. She was Daisy, the girl who rose. And now, she was finally free.